Hey there, we are live from Midtown Comics Times Square. I am Henry. Happy New Comic Book Day to you. There's wonderful, wonderful books out today in the land of make-believe. You guys got to swing by and check them out in our stores and online. But we're here. We're going to walk up and down the wall, and we're going to talk about the great hits hitting stands today. So right off the bat, we're going to show off some of the Dark Horse books. We've got the Angel series right now, which consistently has some of the best covers in comics. Issue number 8, really cool stuff of the season 11 series. Then we also have the third issue of Bank Shot from Alex DeCampi and with art by Criss Cross. I love what they've been doing, these like headshot type covers for all the different characters. Really cool stuff. We also have from the pages of Hellboy, BPRD. Of course, Hellboy has been in the news a lot lately, and you got to check out the books. You got to check out BPRD. Some really cool stuff from a bunch of great creators, including original Hellboy creator Mike Mignola, still working with them on these great books. Then we have the brand new issue of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, season 11. Really cool stuff. Once again, some crazy cool covers here. The Buffy books have been really great. Christos Gage has been on them for years and been doing a really great job. Then as we continue down, we've got the brand new Halo series, Halo Rise of Atriox. Really cool. If you're a Halo fan, like I'm a Halo fan, like I'm the old school Halo fan. Halo 3, well, actually, that's not even old school, but Halo 3 was my jam. Played way too much of it. But really cool mythos, really cool world, and really cool comics that you got to check out. Then we also have the brand new issue of Lady Killer 2 from Joelle Jones. Really cool, really great cover here. Love the way that the color is used, muted tones, and it really makes the red pop. Great stuff. And speaking of red popping, we got this awesome cover to Rebels. It's really great. It's from Brian Wood. It's like a historical epic and focusing on George Washington and all the wars he started because, you know, gotta love George, but he kind of made some mistakes back in his youth, and it's a really cool series exploring some of that stuff right now. Now we hit DC, and DC has a small week with some great collections, a great opportunity to catch up on some really cool books. Starting off, we've got Volume 3 of Aquaman, The Crown of Atlantis from Dan Abnett. We got a bunch of cool artists on it like Scott Eaton and Phil Baronis and Brad Walker, who, of course, does this great cover here. Really cool series. If you are excited for Aquaman, like I'm excited for Aquaman because Aquaman looks like he could be the breakout star of the new Justice League movie, you got to check out his book. Right now, it's great. Dan Abnett's been doing an amazing job. I super recommend it. Then we have another Volume 3. This time it is Batman with I Am Bane. Tom King has been doing an amazing job. If you checked out Mr. Miracle and for some reason you aren't reading his Batman, you are making a mistake. You have to check it out. And the I Am Bane storyline is really cool. David Finch does the art here, and it shows Bane coming to Gotham City to enact revenge on Batman and to tear through the entire Bat family in his way. But what I really love is that this also includes a couple of really great issues that had major consequences for Batman in the aftermath of the Button. I can't flip through it without spoiling, but I'll tell you that when those issues came out, they were flying off the shelves, and we actually sold out in like a day. And it's all collected here. Now's your chance to check it out if you haven't already. Definitely do. We also have the brand new issue of All-Star Batman. The First Ally continues from Scott Snyder and Raphael Albuquerque. Really cool stuff, really cool covers here. Really like the different styles that we have seen on these covers. And All-Star Batman is great. I mean, it's got an all-star team. It goes with the name. Really cool book, really great. And if you're still hoping for more Snyder after reading Dark Knight's Metal, which you should be reading, go to All-Star Batman. It's nice. As we continue down, we've got Red Hood and the Outlaws, annual number 1. Red Hood and the Outlaws has been one of the sleeper hits of Rebirth. Really cool stuff. And in this issue, we can see Nightwing teaming up with Red Hood, and it's great. They've got like the worst kind of brotherly rivalry possible. Really cool stuff. Really great book. Definitely recommend it. Of course, this month is the 100th anniversary of Jack Kirby's birth. His birthday was Monday. And we've got some great books honoring the legacy of the King of Comics, including the Black Racer. Really cool stuff here. Really fun from some great creators. As we continue down, you'll see that we have Dark Knight's Metal, which I was just talking about. And it's our exclusive cover, and not only that, it is signed by Scott Snyder. It is signed by Greg Capullo. It's an amazing book, and you got to check it out. It's really, really worthwhile. Then we've got the Dark Side Special. Now, this is really great. Darkseid is, of course, one of the coolest villains in the DC universe, and he's another Kirby creation. Really great stuff, and it's really cool to see him honored in some great stories, and I just love Darkseid. Darkseid's great. He's awesome. I actually liked him way back in the old-school Superpowers TV show, like the Super Friends Superpowers Hour. Great stuff. Then we've got a brand new issue of Justice League of America. This is issue number 13, and it's Panic in the Microverse. If last week you saw us talking about some of the DC trades, we were talking about Justice League of America. There really is some cool stuff here, and it's really great. It's Steve Orlando and Ivan Reyes. Really great art, really great storytelling, and really cool characters. I mean, it's got Lobo. Lobo's great. I love Lobo. We also have from Steve Orlando, we got a 1-2 punch. We got the Supergirl annual this week. As you can see, it's the attack of the new Fatal Five. The Fatal Five are infamous as they are the Legion of Superheroes' greatest foes. And now we see them in the modern day because, of course, the Emerald Empress has been stranded in the present day, separated from her future timeline. And it's really cool. And you'll see a couple familiar faces. We've got Solomon Grundy along with Emerald Empress. And we've got Magog, which is crazy. If you're a fan of Kingdom Come, he's a foe that, I mean, he's a character with so much power and so many implications. You got to check out the book to see what it means for our hero. We also have, to close off DC, Wonder Woman issue number 29. Love this Jenny Friesen cover. Really cool book, really great. And, of course, Wonder Woman has been dazzling fans all year. It just had a release in IMAX. It's on Blu-ray now. It's really great. You got to check out the book. Super fun, super awesome. Now we're going to take a look up and check out some of the cool collected editions. Starting us off, we've got the Buffy the Vampire Slayer coloring book. Really cool stuff, showing off some of the great art from the comic book series that Dark Horse has been putting out. Then we also have an art book from Michael Avon Owing, which is some really cool stuff. Of course, he is the artist for Powers, and he's been working in the comic book industry for so long, doing great work all along the way. Then if you haven't been checking out the Batman book, like I was talking about before, here is the deluxe hardcover that is collecting the series. Really great stuff. It is $34.99, and it has 16 comics in it, which is great value, like really great value, especially for a book of this caliber. Tom King, David Finch, you've got Mikel Janin, you've got the best of the best on this book, and I definitely implore you, please check it out. But if maybe you're an old school guy, maybe you want some classic Batman, we've got the Golden Age Batman Volume 3. These paperbacks are really nice thickness, and they're really nice heft. They're really well done, and it's only $29.99, which is a great price for a lot of these books that have not been in print in years, and it's really great stuff. It's the original Caped Crusader Adventures with the Boy Wonder by his side. Definitely recommend that if you want to check out the original comic book roots of the character. And then we have Shadow of the Vat Volume 2. Now, this is great 90s Batman stuff here. Of course, the 90s were a great time for Batman. I mean, pretty much any time is a great time for Batman. His books are always through the roof. And the Shadow of the Bat book is really cool. It gets to focus on some of the side villains that maybe it's not Joker, but it's Scarecrow. It's characters that need those great stories, and you get them here. Villains that really deserve the spotlight, all shown off. And then to close us off, we've got The Dead Man by Kelly Jones with Mike Barron writing some great classic Dead Man stuff. Of course, Dead Man's a great DC character. Some really cool stories over the years, and some great stuff coming from Dead Man, too, in the coming months. Now we hit IDW, and IDW's got some cool books. Starting us off, we've got the Dungeons & Dragons Frost Giant's Fury. Cool little mini that they're doing. IDW's done a couple different Dungeons & Dragons books, and they're always lots of fun. And then we have Ghostbusters 101. Now, I've been loving this series. Tons of fun. It's been exploring the different timelines of the Ghostbusters, melding the original heroes from the 80s movie with the Ghostbusters Answer the Call characters from last year. Really cool, Really fun book, and it works perfectly with what they've done with the Ghostbusters comic book series over the years. They've really built up a cool world. This plays nicely on it. Then we've got G.I. Joe issue number 8, a couple cool covers. This is my favorite. But I got to show off a couple of these other bad boys. Some great stuff here. And then it's a 1-2 punch for Joe because we've got G.I. Joe, a Real American Hero, number 243. God, it's been around for years and years, always putting out great quality. Love that cover, too. Some great stuff. I'm a big Lady J fan, so I like whenever she gets some cover treatment. Now we've got the Hasbro Hero source book. So maybe you're a fan of G.I. Joe, and you're reading the G.I. Joe books, but you don't know these other guys. You don't know your ROM from your Primes. Something weird is in this book. The Hasbro Hero source book tells you all you need to know about the IDW shared universe that these characters are inhabiting, and it's great. We've got Shipwreck on the cover. Yay, Shipwreck. He's always fun. Now we've got Orphan Black Deviations number 4, of course, spinning out of the very popular Orphan Black series. And then we have the conclusion of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Dimension X story. Love this cover. I think that's hilarious. But it's really cool, it's really fun, and it's great if you are a Turtles fan and you're not reading the main book. You should, but you can also check this out. It's easy, it's accessible. It's great. Then we've got Optimus Prime number 10. Really cool stuff here. We get to see some great armor designs for some of these Transformers. Of course, the Optimus Prime book has taken some crazy twists and turns. You got to check it out if you're an old school Transformers fan. It really plays well with that original continuity. IDW keeps going, too, with 24 Legacy, the Rules of Engagement. This is spinning out of the most recent 24 series. Some really great stuff here. And then we have X-Files Origins and X-Files number 17. So if you're an X-Files fan, you've got lots to enjoy. Really cool property. I really think X-Files has found a new life in the IDW books. Now we hit Image, and Image, of course, has a brand new issue of Black Magic leading us off. Some really cool stuff here. Greg Rucka, Nicholas Scott. Show off a couple of those different covers. I love that cover, too. Really great stuff. As well as the brand new issue of Crosswind from Gail Simone, a really great book, really cool. It's Freaky Friday with like some crime elements, definitely worth checking out. Then if you guys watch these videos, you know how big of a fan I am of this next book, Deadly Class from Rick Remender and Wes Craig. A great book, a deadly book. Ha, I did not mean to do that, but a really great book, really worthwhile, and really cool if you want to have like a cool alt book that's got like a bit more of a punk rock vibe to it. Really great, really cool book. I highly recommend it. And if you haven't been reading it, check out the trades because they're really great. I wholly recommend this book. Then we've got Image Plus. Now, this is free if you're purchasing Previews magazine, so you got to pick up your previews because it's the last week of the month. But it also shows off the new Witches book. Some new stuff coming up with that. Really great. And the Image Plus magazine is the best place to find your news about new Image comics before you find it anywhere else. Some really great stuff there. We also have the first volume of the Old Guard, once again from Greg Rucka, who's really done a great job with his different Image Comics books. If you are a fan of Rucka, you got to check out Old Guard. It's the first volume, and you know what that means. It is going to be a great read, really cool, really great series, definitely worth checking out. Then we also have the Other Side volume from Jason Aaron and Cameron Stewart on art. Cameron Stewart's always great. I'm a big Cameron Stewart fan. Love what he's able to put out, and very excited for The Other Side. We have...
Did you say The Other Side?
I did say The Other Side. Oh my God. And look at this. On the other side, we've got our very own Vic Melendez.
Hello, Henry. How are you?
I'm very good. How are you on this glorious new comic book day?
I'm doing well. I'm doing all right. Yeah, I saw you talking about Other Side, and that's a book that I've been trying to read for a long time. It's been out of print. The Vertigo, when it came out in Vertigo, I missed out on it. So I'm very excited that Image has reprinted it.
Now, is there anything maybe you can tell our viewers at home about The Other Side?
It's just a very powerful story about the Vietnam War, that era. It follows two different soldiers from completely different sides. You have the American, you have a person that's fighting on the Viet Cong side, and it's both of their perspectives and how eventually, sadly, they will eventually meet. It's a great era. Big fan of that time period of American history. So the fact that Jason Aaron, took the time to write it. This is during when he did Scalped. It says a lot. Also, he loves that era because Southern Bastards has a very 70s feel to it, which I also like. Also, got to recommend The Dregs from Black Mask. If you guys have been picking it up, kudos to you. This is a crazy, awesome indie book. It's equal parts meta because it deals with a lot of themes today with gentrification, homelessness, and equal parts Don Quixote because it just deals with a person who's trying to figure out what's happening to his friends. And anyone that's read Don Quixote knows that it's a struggle to find the truth. So I would definitely recommend Black Mask The Dregs from Black Mask. It's 4 issues, quick mini series. Definitely comes with the highest recommendation. And also, please pick up The Other Side and The Old Guard from Greg Rucka. Have you read The Old Guard?
I have not read it yet. I've heard amazing things.
I've read up to about issue 3. It is awesome. It is like Highlander, as if they remade Highlander with 5 more people and a super badass female. I love it. I love it.
Very cool stuff. Well, thank you, Vic, for some always awesome recommendations.
I do what I can, Henry. You're welcome.
Well, cool. So as we continue down, we're going to take a quick look. We've got the new pack list from Dustin Weaver, and then we have Planetoid Praxis, another really cool Image book, as well as Ringside, issue 11. Now, Ringside is really great. I'm a sucker for it because it's a wrestling comic book, and it's really cool exploring the darker side of the wrestling world. Then we have the brand new issue of Saga. Of course, what do I need to tell you about Saga? Saga is one of the hottest books in comics. Read Saga. Please read Saga. I mean, I don't have to implore you. You're going to want to read Saga because it's just that good. Now, as we continue down, we've got Savage Dragon, number 226. Savage Dragon, you know it, they always like to play with modern-day politics. A few years back, they had Obama in it. They've had, really crazy figures. And, of course, Donald Trump front and center there. Some crazy stuff if you're a fan of Savage Dragon. Now we're going to take a bump up, and we're going to look at the new Teen Titans Omnibus Volume 1. Now, this is awesome that this is actually being redone because they've done this omnibus before, but every time you have seen it fly off the shelves in about 30 seconds. It is such a popular series because this is what really formed the modern conception of the Teen Titans. Really great book. You've got Marv Wolfman. You've got George Perez. It is worth reading, and it is one of the most important comic books in the history of DC Comics, to be honest with you, because it completely reshaped the company, and then they went on to do Crisis shortly after. Really, really awesome stuff there. And then we have Wonder Girl, Adventures of a Teen Titan. Now, I love this cover art by Nicholas Scott, but it's also really cool because it shows off the adventures of the 2 ladies to have been called Wonder Girl, Cassie Sandsmark and Donna Troy. Some great stuff there, some classic stories, really cool. Wonder Girl is a great character, and I love seeing her get some attention. Now we've got the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers coloring book, and if you're a 90s kid like me, that's just the coolest thing. That just makes you happy. I mean, I love Power Rangers, and a coloring book throws me back to the childhood days, and it's really fun, and it makes perfect sense for Boom to put one out because they've been doing such a great job with their Power Rangers comic books. Then we have the Comic Book History of Comics, The Birth of a Medium. This is a book that's almost like a meta book because it's a comic book about comic books. It explores the entire history of the comic book medium, as well as the hardcover collection of Calamity Jane, The Calamitous Life of Martha Jane Canary. Some really cool stuff there. We also have Home Time, a great hardcover, really cool cover art, some really fun, really different art on the inside. Really cool if you want to get that indie feel. As well as the Return of the Dapper Men. Now, this is really cool because Jim McCann put out a book a couple years back that was the Dapper Men, and now we get to see him come back with Janet Leigh. Really great. The original Dapper Men book flew off shelves, did super well. Jim McCann's a great guy. You got to check out the sequel and read the book. Then we also have Copperhead Volume 3, a really cool book as well from Image. Copperhead's a great sci-fi series that you should really be checking out. Now we've got the brand new issue of Spawn, issue number 277. Some really cool stuff there, as well as the brand new issue of Stray Bullets, number 27 from David Lapham. And then we've got Sun Bakery as well, the collection, the first collection of the series. Great book, really cool stuff here. Really fun and really outlandish art. Really great indie vibe here. Really cool and definitely worthwhile. Then we've got a Walking Dead calendar for you. Of course, Walking Dead is going to be coming back soon. Before you know it, there's a new issue next week too, I think. And it's really great and really worthwhile. Now we are hitting Marvel, and Marvel's got a really big week this week. Starting us off right off the bat, we've got the brand new issue of America from Gabby Rivera and Ramon Villalobos. Really great book. Kelly Thompson also helps in with this because that's right, that's Kate Bishop teaming up with her former Young Avenger teammate, America. Really cool book, really great series, and I love it. I love America. Now we've got the True Believers of Ant-Man, a really great book of Kirby Classic, and it shows off the original Ant-Man and Wasp issues, which is really great because, I mean, they're classic. And, of course, this week we did see the first peek at the costume for the Wasp. So if you want to see the original Wasp in action, you got to check out the book. Then we have a brand new issue of Uncanny Avengers. We get to see Scarlet Witch facing off with Rogue. Some really cool stuff there. And then we also have the brand new issue of Black Panther. Now, this is great. We've got this really cool cover I got to show off by Jenny Friesen. This cover is actually already sold out online because that cover is so cool. But the book is great. Ta-Nehisi Coates has been doing a really great job, and Chris Sprouse on art. Definitely worth checking out. We get to see Black Panther and Storm together again, question mark, because they have a tumultuous relationship, and they've really had their ups and their downs. And what it means for the future of Black Panther and the Kingdom of Wakanda, you have to read to find out. For some more Black Panther fun, we've got Black Panther and the Crew number 6. Now, this also features Storm, so it's like a double dose of two different great characters. Really great book, really cool, and just a fun series, issue number 6, and check out the rest. Check out the first 5. We also have the trade paperback for Bullseye. Now, this was a cool miniseries that Ed Brisson put out a couple months back. Really great. Love all these covers by Dave Johnson. Does some of the best covers in comics. Then we have the Mighty Captain Marvel, issue number 8. Now, this does tie in with Secret Empire, and it concludes the tie-in to Secret Empire. And it's really great and really cool if you want to check out what Carol Danvers is all about and you're excited for her movie. Check out the comic. It makes sense. It's perfect. It's cool. And it's fun. It actually works really nicely as a complementary tale to the series. Then, of course, continuing our Secret Empire tie-ins, we've got Deadpool issue number 35. Secret Empire has some major consequences for Deadpool, and this issue shows you just why. It shows you just how crazy Secret Empire ends up being for Wade Wilson, who has been a loyal soldier to Steve Rogers after all this time. What will happen with the downfall of Hydra? So you got to read the book and find out. Then we also have, now this is a really cool transition. I like this. So we go from Deadpool to Deadpool Punisher, and then we go Punisher Doctor Strange into Doctor Strange. That's great. That's so smooth. Super cool to see all these team-ups that just make perfect sense. Deadpool versus the Punisher. You know there's going to be blood. You know there's going to be guts. There's a parental advisory. It's Deadpool and Punisher, two of the hardest-hitting guys in the Marvel Universe facing off. If you're excited for Punisher coming to Netflix sometime this year, it seems, you got to check out the book and see him facing off against Deadpool, the one man who could honestly probably give him a real run for his money. But then if you want to see the Punisher really do some crazy stuff, you got to see his team up with Doctor Strange in the Magic Bullet storyline. Really cool, really crazy. This is fun because it's kind of a spin-off of if you read Original Sin a couple years back, they had like a weird chemistry and like a weird team up to it, and now we get to see that really explored. It's Doctor Strange with a magic shotgun. Tell me that isn't cool. Come on, that's my selling point. Doctor Strange, magic shotgun. Check out this book. It's great. Then as we continue down, we've got Doctor Strange and the Sorcerer Supreme. We get to see all of Doctor Strange's magical cohorts as they travel throughout the universe. Some really great stuff here, as well as the brand new issue of the Guardians of the Galaxy Telltale series. Really love this David Nakayama cover. We also have a cool one with the art from the game. Definitely cool. The Telltale series for Guardians of the Galaxy was really fun. And if you want to just read a nice Guardians of the Galaxy book that doesn't have a crazy ton to do with the regular stuff, you can check it out. And it's got Sakaar, which is going to be featured in Thor Ragnarok. So that's really cool. Then we've got the Marvel Generations of Hawkeye and Hawkeye. Some really great stuff there. Really cool. And we have the second printing of the Strongest. This is the Archers. This is the Strongest. And it was the Totally Awesome Hulk and Bruce Banner Hulk teaming up. And that saw a second printing because it was just so good. And you got to know that that quality is going to carry over to the Hawkeye book. Really great stuff. Now we're going to bump up, and we're going to see Jupiter's Legacy, Book 2 from Mark Millar and Frank Quitelli. Some great stuff. This is part of Millarworld, which means that this was just bought by Netflix. So this is now something that you have to keep an eye out for, because the Mark Millar projects that he has are now always up for the option to be adapted by Netflix, and some crazy stuff in Jupiter's Legacy that I would love to see translated to the world of film. We also have the Magdalena Reformation paperback. It's the first paperback of the series. Some really cool stuff from Image. And then we have the prose novel of Who is the Black Panther. Great stuff there. If you're watching us and you're a big fan of reading books, prose novels, check out that. Then we've got the Ashes storyline from Defenders, an epic collection, which means it's got a ton of content for a low cost. Really cool stuff. And then we have Amazing Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2099 from Peter David. Some really great stuff. And Will Sliney on art. Great book, great content, great character. I mean, Peter David's been writing the guy since like 97 or something like that. Like, he's been writing him a long time, doing some really cool stuff. Now we've got Spider-Man Revenge of the Green Goblin. You see that classic John Romita Jr. cover art. Really great stuff there. You know, the Green Goblin and Spider-Man have clashed so many times over the years. Always cool to see what they will get up to. And then we've got the first volume of Unstoppable Wasp. Once again, if you're excited about the new stuff that they've got going with the MCU with Wasp, you got to check out the comics. There's a couple different versions of the character, so you got to check it out to see what suits your fancy. Then we've got the True Believers Iron Man. Now, this is great, showcasing some of the original Iron Man comics that Jack Kirby worked on. You'll get to see it right there. Really cool. In his golden armor, his second armor. Some cool stuff there. And then we've got Infamous Iron Man issue number 11. Now, Iron Man has gone through some crazy twists and turns, but I got to tell you that Dr. Doom picking up the mantle has got to be one of the craziest things I've ever seen. I never thought in a million years Dr. Doom would be headlining a book as Iron Man. And Brian Michael Bendis and Alex Maleev have been really doing a cool job with the book and delivering some great art. I mean, it's Alex Maleev. His art is out of this world. Check out the book. Totally cool. And it's going to be leading up to the brand new Invincible Iron Man stuff coming up that's going to be seeing the return of Tony Stark. So read the book so you know what's going on. Then we've got the brand new issue of Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur from Brandon Montclair. Really cool. Love this cover. Really fun. It's cute. Takes you back to when you were a kid. And if you got kids, you got to give them Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur because it's such a fun book and it's great. And Devil Dinosaur is a Kirby creation, so, it's the modern day equivalent. We have the brand new issue of Spider-Gwen. I love this cover. I love this cover. I love this book. It's great. It's fun. It's alternate universe Spider-Man, but it's like Spider-Gwen, so it's got a completely different vibe, a cool punk rock aesthetic. Definitely something you should be checking out, and it's great. But now, of course, we hit the main event for Marvel this week, Secret Empire number 10. You guys have heard all about it. You guys have been reading it for months. Secret Empire has been a major hit for Marvel, selling out like crazy, doing some crazy stuff. And Secret Empire 10 sees the epic conclusion to the storyline. If you have not been reading Secret Empire, this book is absolutely nuts. And I got to show off a couple of these covers. Some really cool stuff here. I love this Andrea Sorrentino one, actually. And I feel silly because I didn't know that the previous 9 covers all led to this one giant image, which is awesome, and they're all collected on that one cover there. We got a cool Gabriel Del Otto cover, some great stuff, but I'm a sucker for the Mark Brooks art on the main cover because I love Mark Brooks, and this book is crazy, and I want to flip through it, But if I flip through it, I'm going to spoil it all for you. And I know that there's some spoilers lurking around on the interwebs, but you got to read the book to figure out the context and to see just how the Marvel Universe can ever hope to survive after what has been done to it, because the betrayal of Steve Rogers has really rocked the Marvel Universe to its core, and there are major consequences. We get to see some crazy stuff happening in this book. I can't tell you because you got to read it yourself, and it's just so much more fun if you do. Secret Empire is crazy, and this is the epic conclusion. There's an afterword coming out soon, Secret Empire Omega, but if you want to read the proper conclusion, it's right here. It's with us. Then we have the Star Wars Mace Windu Jedi of the Republic book. Now, this is a brand new miniseries that's focusing on Mace Windu, the baddest Jedi in the galaxy. Awesome, of course, famously played by Samuel L. Jackson, and one of my favorite Jedi. He's like top 3 like side Jedi, like him and like Ki-Adi-Mundi, Kit Fisto. They're all cool guys. They're all in this book too, and it takes place during the Clone Wars era, so it's really great and really cool. And you get to see Mace Windu at his prime, taking down droid armies. Some great stuff here, and it's Mace Windu. Mace Windu is awesome. Read Mace Windu comics. Really cool stuff. Then we have the brand new issue of Star Wars, issue number 35. We got this cool Amy Reeder cover that really shows off one of my favorite moments in the original New Hope. Of course, Princess Leia taking a stand. And it's been doing a great job. Jason Aaron and Salvador LaRocca have really had a lot of fun with the book. And this is telling a couple side stories with the characters. And you see Han, Chewie, and a Hutt. That's always a recipe for disaster in the best way possible. You got to check out the book. It's really cool. Then we've got the brand new issue of Thanos, issue number 10 from Jeff Lemire. Some really cool stuff going on here, and we've got the cool Marvelous Capcom cover. And then we've got a couple different reprints of Edge of Venomverse, of course, been flying off the shelves. Been doing really well, really cool book. And to close this off, we've got a couple X-Men books. We've got Jean Grey, issue number 6 from Dennis Hopeless. Really cool cover here. We get to see Doctor Strange popping up for a guest stint. Really cool. And then we've got the brand new issue of X-Men Blue. Of course, is kind of crazy because it's Beast and he's the science guy and he's doing magic. Really cool direction for the character and a really great cover by Art. And previews includes this really cool cover placement ad. Soon, you got to pick up previews so you know what's coming out in a couple months. So that's going to about do it for us here at Midtown Comics. It is a wonderful week for comics, some really great books. Stop by and check us out. You can come to any of our 3 stores here in Times Square. You can find us on 459 45th Street for our Lexington store. And then you can find us at 64 Fulton Street as well. 3 stores, tons of comics. Shop online, buy comics, read comics, love comics. We love comics. We love you. And come by and say hey.